Now, Iraq is all set to start legal proceedings against the Islamic State fighters who are being transferred from Syria's prisons with the help of US forces. And this comes as very fragile ceasefire holds between the Syrian government and the Kurdish-led forces amidst mass displacement in northeast Syria. In Syria, the government forces have begun transferring the Kurdish fighters from the northern prison that had been holding the Islamic State detainees. The buses and cars were seen leaving the Al-Akhtan prison on the outskirts of the city overnight, and the transfer is part of a weekend agreement between the Syrian government and the Kurdish-led forces aimed at easing tensions after weeks of clashes. The US military has said that it has moved about 150 Islamic State fighters from a prison in Hasakeh province to a secure location in Iraq. And this is part of a larger operation to move as many as about 7,000 Islamic State civilians from the country, and the transfer follows a ceasefire agreement that has brought much of Syria's northeast under Damascus's control. After the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces withdrew from certain key areas, including from the detention sites holding thousands of Islamic State suspects and their relatives. The Iraqi Prime Minister Mohammad Shia al-Sudani met with the US Special Envoy for Syria, Tom Barak, in Baghdad on Thursday to discuss the transfer of the Islamic State prisoners from northeastern Syria to the Iraqi detention centers. The Syria's United Nations Ambassador Ibrahim Ulabi welcomed the American operation, saying that this government is ready to provide the logistical and security support to ensure its success.
In this context, the Syrian government welcomes the American operation to transfer ISIS detainees out of Syrian territory and affirms its readiness to provide the necessary logistical and security support to ensure its success.
Now, despite the ceasefire in force, the situation on the ground continues to remain volatile, with both sides continuing to accuse each other of breaching the fragile ceasefire. Meanwhile, the United Nations has said that more than 134,000 people have been displaced in northeast Syria. Aid supplies reached Qamishli in Syria on Thursday, where the families displaced from the northeast have taken shelter in schools.
We left Raqqa with difficulty. We didn't have a car, and our children are young. The weather was very cold. We faced many hardships until we reached Qamishli. Our car broke down on the road, and our children stayed out in the rain. All of our children became sick because of the rain.
The United Nations says that it has taken over the management of vast camps in northeast Syria, housing tens of thousands of women and children linked to the Islamic State. The Al-Hol and Roj camps together hold around 28,000 civilians.
And UNHCR, which has taken over camp management responsibilities, is actively coordinating with the Syrian government to urgently resume the safe delivery of life-saving humanitarian assistance.
So in just about 3 days, the number of internally displaced persons surged from 5,725 on Sunday to more than 134,000 in the last 3 days. And according to reports, more than 41,000 people in collective shelters in the Hasakeh province urgently need food, mattresses and blankets. While in the Aleppo province, Al-Ain al-Arab, more than 1,600 people have fled. And the displaced families are now heading into the Kurdish-held enclaves as the government forces continue with their advance, taking control of Raqqa and Deir ez-Zor after pushing the Kurdish fighters from parts of Aleppo earlier this month. Now, Iraq has also stepped up its security along its border with Syria, deploying hundreds of military vehicles and personnel along the frontier in the northern province of Sinjar. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.